wonder where passwords originated from? The first recorded use of passwords took place in ancient history and were originally used amongst militaries to detect enemies. In one instance, during the time of the ancient Romans, watchwords were utilized by night watchmen. This was a way to recognize comrades in the dark. If someone approached without knowing the watchword, they were not allowed to pass. These watchwords were updated regularly, especially during times of war. Though the history of passwords may be vast, their purpose has not changed much, as they have always allowed us to verify identity, gain access to a place, or obtain information. But for as many ancient examples of strong password uses, there are some notoriously bad historical passwords as well. One literary reference dates back to the 18th century with Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. In this story, a poor merchant overhears thieves discussing their hoards of gold protected in a cave by the password "Open Sesame." Overhearing this information allows for the merchant to infiltrate the cave, gaining access to the gold. Another real-life incident occurred during the Cold War, where nuclear missiles required a code to launch. The chosen code was 000-000-00. The reasoning for the password's lack of security was because they were more concerned about being able to launch the missiles quickly than they were about someone gaining unauthorized access to them. Historically, such stories of oversharing passwords or poor password choices abound, yet it is still an issue we face today. It wasn't until the 1960s, as computers advanced, that the use of passwords did too. At the time, to allow several people to share one computer, yet still store private information, the first system for protecting files with a password was born. And it wasn't long after that, the first password hackers took shape as well. In 2003, the notion of creating hard-to-guess passwords with a mix of numbers, letters, and special characters was introduced. But as the world around us changed, with the average person managing around 100 passwords, so did our password security best practices. In 2017, it was discovered that 81% of data breaches occurred due to stolen or compromised passwords. This led to the influx of multi-factor authenticators that are often used today. Though this helped bridge a major security gap, cybercriminals' tactics have continued to evolve. So, what's the future of password security look like? Biometric identity authentication, which requires an individual's unique physical characteristics, looks to be the next shift. Seeing that the success of password infrastructure as we know it has balanced on the notion that only knowledge can prove identity, the use of biometrics is an interesting change to keep an eye on, especially to see how cybercriminals might try to infiltrate it next.